Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing casinos in Thailand yet again. And as noted in other videos, Thailand is still kind of bandying about, it's debating. It's going through the parliamentary process of trying to decide whether or not there's going to be legalized casinos here in Thailand and what that's going to look like. As I've discussed in other videos on this channel, I'm cautiously optimistic about the whole thing. I think it could be a very good thing for Thailand. I think it would definitely help the tourism sector, which would benefit a lot of folks. There's some things folks need to kind of be worried about, or be careful about. Most notably, casinos create kind of a black hole economically, and it can have a really devastating negative impact. That's almost a social issue as well as an economic one. On the purely economic side, as I've discussed in other videos, I'm kind of a believer in, okay, yeah, you have big casino complex, but maybe allow a little gambling, little licenses, whatever you want to call it, for like minor things, like one card table here, a few slot machines there, something of that nature. Again, I don't know exactly how it would look, but what I've seen, and I worked in the casino industry, I went through law school working in the casino industry, probably would have worked in the casino industry if I'd have gone back to the United States. And I can tell you that I think overall it's better to allow more than just have, sort of one place or just a few places have sort of a monopoly over that, because I've seen the economic consequences of that and it's really not great. That being said, the reason for the video is I was reading a recent article from CasinoNewsDaily.xyz, and the article is titled, "Thailand's Casino Plans Cause Mixed Reactions Among Industry Insiders." Quoting directly, "Thailand is closer than ever to allowing legal casinos to begin to arrive. While it expects monumental revenue from the market, the reaction from some of the gaming industry shows less optimism. Should the net recommendations of a government activity committee exploring the opening of casinos be put into action," I think they say pose into action, I think they meant put into action, "in that respect could follow upwardly to 5 venues to start. The details are at present below critical review past the House of Representatives, but still demand approval past other governing bodies." Well, once the House passes it, if there's a law promulgated and it goes through all due process, then yeah, that'll be what it is. Quoting further, "Previously at that place was," I think this was translated over into English, "previously at that place was verbalized that Las Vegas Sands and MGM Resorts International may live interested inward a Thai casino." Okay. "However, that may not be enough, and St. Paul Bromberg of Spectrum Gaming Group doesn't believe many international operators will pass over on the chance to fall in the market." So, interesting. I don't know if that was like written by an AI bot or if that was translated over from another language there. When I was first reading it, I kind of have a tendency to just scan and get the data more than really look at the sort of literature value of what I'm reading. It didn't quite seem so convoluted there. But I think this is, major things are afoot here. I don't think anybody is going to be interested. I don't think anybody in that industry is going to ignore Thailand. If Thailand legalizes, I think there's going to be a lot of interest from many in the industry, most notably, folk and large and small. I'm especially hopeful that Thailand takes to heart, or that Thai officials, I should say, take to heart the notion that we look not necessarily just at sort of a monopolistic sort of casino environment, but be a little more open, again, for smaller activity, allow folks, because it can be a major draw. As I've said before, I remember when the poker boom, I was dealing poker when the poker boom sort of hit America, and I was always kind of ambivalent about it because I did it for work, but I saw it a lot. Bars and grills and restaurants, even back in Kansas, would have these little poker tournaments, not for money, but just for prizes and things, and it brought in a lot of people. It really helped those industries. It really helped those little businesses that would do them, and even they kind of even ended up with kind of a circuit because there were folks that just like to play in those little games, and they just bounce around from one bar to the next each night of the week, and each bar would do its own poker night, and some of them wouldn't want to compete with each other. They just kind of let the circuit roll the way it did. I don't know how that's going to play out here in Thailand, but it's food for thought, and I'm hoping officials, when they ultimately promulgate a law, if they ever do, will sort of keep in mind sort of the little guy rather than just sort of monopolistic, huge casino kind of operation.